That one's $400, $400. If I put that Black Beauty on, it start adding zeros to the number. Grab my Tektite. These are cool, aren't they?
Yeah, that is pretty wild. It's just insane how much like.
Oh, I should put my helmet on or whatever this thing's called.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. That thing's deceptive. Is it recording again?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay.
Hey everyone, we are back. We are live. Interviews with everyday people. Sitting here now. Roger, how do you pronounce your last name?
Wehbe.
Wehbe.
Yeah.
Okay. I had an uncle, Joe Webb, but we called him Wehbe as a nickname. So, yeah. So you've probably seen the box episode that aired Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure what day that would have went, but now we're going to dive into it. We're going to learn a little bit about Roger here. We're going to find out more about the shop and some of the cool stuff he has in it, and go from there. So, are you a native of School County? Are you born and raised?
I am not. I was born and raised in Easton, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I'm just going to turn you a little bit. You're good.
Yeah. Oh, I was born and raised in Easton, Pennsylvania. I spent about half my life in Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I came back up here in early 2000s.
Nice.
And now I live here. I live in School County.
Yeah. And how do you like it?
I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been investing time and money in this area. If you walk around town, you'll notice that there's a bunch of stones in Pottsville that are implanted in the concrete. I have like a lunar fragment where John F. Kennedy stood.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the July 20th event at Pottsville High School. You guys should go. We're celebrating Moon Landing Day. So I think it's something cool that people should go to.
So John F. Kennedy was in Pottsville?
Oh yeah, I put a moon rocket right where he stood.
I did not know he was here.
Most people didn't because up until me putting something there was no indication or how do I say it?
Like a landmark.
Yeah, hold on. JFK. I'm typing on my phone, so I'll show you a photo of it. Pottsville.
And then by you doing that, now people say, hey, this is a thing.
Well, they know it exists now. See, here he is sitting in front of the Garfield Diner.
Holy crap, I did not know that was a thing. That's awesome.
So you see him standing there right there, right? Now, I'm going to... Well, is there a camera? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can just hold the picture up there so that people can see it, I guess, without me. I mean, you guys can see him. John F. Kennedy standing right in front of the Garfield Diner. Now, here's what I did. Yeah. You want to go to the constellation. That would be over here. And we want to get the yeah. I'm getting a link. Hold on. I just want to show you guys what I did. I put a lunar fragment where John F. Kennedy stood just because I thought it was cool. You can stand on it. I have a few of them in town, and I thought it was a good idea just because people don't typically remember that this happened, or they don't know that he stood there, and this guy got us to the moon. So I thought putting a moon rock right where he stood would probably be the best way to commemorate the fact that he was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It's just all it is it's a lunar fragment embedded in the concrete. I have that also. There's a bunch of them in town. It's just a moon rock. Oh, I forgot. I have it on our Facebook page. It's Facebook Martian Materials.
Yeah. So if so growing up, you only child? How
Oh no, I have a sister.
Yeah. So two kids, right?
Yeah, me and my sister.
Awesome. Now is your family still in the area?
Yeah, they live out in Wardsworth.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And what drove you to get into? See, a lot of people like. I was actually one. I thought you were more like, hey, you're studying the universe and stuff, but you're more of like a geologist. But I guess you're like a geologist with other planets.
I probably look at astronomy like a geologist does.
Yes.
My degree's in economics. What got me well, I've always been interested in space. I had NASA wallpaper growing up, but what made me take a plunge to start a space company is Elon Musk's reusable rockets. The second I saw a SpaceX Falcon come down, and I realized within 2 seconds that you didn't have to refill the rocket up. You didn't have to rebuild the rocket. You just have to fill it up with gas and send it back up. Now it's not a rocket anymore. It's an airplane. It's a lot cheaper. You don't have to rebuild your rocket every single time. The prices of these launches keep plummeting. If you get to reuse your spaceship 50 times. That means that you recoup the cost of it from building it.
Mm-hmm.
And in all 50 flights, the cost of your ship could be distributed among 50 flights, as compared to building the Apollo mission $1 billion ship to get you to the moon and back. Now even if you did your $1 billion ship, you're going to use it 50 times. So the price for each flight is going to drop down by 50. You see, you're dividing it by 50.
Yeah.
So the prices are becoming much more reasonable, and it's not costing $1 billion to build these things anymore. It's costing a lot less. Technology is getting there. It's to the point where I was having a discussion with I can't really say all the details yet, but there's a few lunar missions coming up,
to go back to the moon?
To go back to the moon.
That'd be awesome.
Well, one of them might...
Would shut a lot of people up.
One of them might include a stone from the store.
Really?
Yeah, from Martian Materials. I'm going to include a lunar fragment to go... I'm sending a moon rock back to the moon.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what we're going to try to do. We've been in discussion with a particular entity to get that done. And it's a big entity.
Yeah.
So it's something that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what was your moment? Now, have you always been into like rocks and geology growing up as well?
Yeah, I always found rocks and geology fascinating. Here's what I like when I look at I think I mentioned it before the cameras were on. When I look at like Mars or the moon, I don't see I see another pile of rocks. Yeah, it's true. That's how I view it. I just view them as another pile of rocks, which is interesting because I want to explore it.
Yeah.
Just the same way as I want to explore the mountaintop next to me. It's cool to look at. There's more stuff up there that you didn't see on the mountain you're sitting at.
Yeah.
Except now when you're talking about planets, the mountain distances are very far, and there's an ocean separating you. And it's a big ocean, where only thing that gets through is probably microbacterial life hitching on asteroids.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's just a bigger trip, but it's nothing more different than 500 years ago when these people hopped on their boats and went from island to island. It's the only same exact thing, except we need better ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still probably in the rowboat state.
Oh yes, that's exactly what it is. You're in a rowboat state, and we need at least a Mayflower.
Yeah.
And we don't even have that. The Apollo 11 would be considered a Mayflower.
Yeah.
Something little like that to see get there and get back. Not even a Mayflower, more of an explorer.
Where we want to get to the point where we can get to probably a distance in the least amount of time.
Yes, because if you wanted to follow Elon Musk's plan or any one of these Mars colonization plans, it's not just Musk, not just SpaceX, all of them, they're all going to require thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people moving there to Mars. It's possible, very likely.
Would you sign up?
Yes. I wouldn't even think twice. I would do anything to get off this planet. And it's not. And I say that. I say it jokingly. You know? But in reality, not really jokingly. There's some aspects to this which make logical sense. Dinosaurs ruled the earth for millions of years, and one day they're gone. That's it. One big space rock came down and ruined everything for these guys.
Yeah.
And now, since all these dinosaurs did not have spaceships, they're dead. Now, when the next one comes down, because these things regularly come down, or the next catastrophe, who knows what it could be? A gamma ray burst. It could be
solar flare.
It could be a solar flare. Now, these are all external threats from space that could be coming in, or it could be internal. We get the volcano of the century show up. There's all sorts of Yellowstone can get angry. There's a million things that mean that we're all stuck on this little pebble, and no one really realizes how small this planet is. So, and there's a lot of humans, a lot of us, and we keep getting more and more, which is fine. But we need to get out of here. You can't have an ant colony with 1 billion people stuck in a tiny little.
We're like, I think I heard Joe Rogan describe it the best. He goes, if you look at the planet, we are like a fungus on a piece of bread.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but this fungus is going to get eaten soon. One day, we need to start moving somewhere.
We're destroying we're destroying where we live.
Oh yeah. We're killing what we're having. Now, one of the theories is, what are we doing? Moving to a different planet to destroy there? Well, possibly. I see. That's another issue.
Yeah.
Especially if there finds out to be microbacterial life on Mars, that feels really weird going there and let's kill that in favor of us. because that's possible.
Yeah, I mean that microbacterial life has stood the test of time, and now you're there just kind of.
You're going to ruin their life.
Yep.
You're going to terraform that planet because that's what Musk wants to do.
Yeah.
He wants to terraform the planet. He'll terraform the planet, kill everything that was there already in favor of yours.
Yeah.
It was like the Genesis project from Star Trek.
Yeah. Now, what was the moment for you growing up that space like where you seen something and you're like, man, this is what I'm passionate about?
It was that when I saw the SpaceX lander self-land.
Mm-hmm.
It meant that reusable rockets. That was probably the trigger for me.
Mm-hmm.
What triggered me when I was younger, are you asking?
Yeah.
I believe Voyager 1. I think it was fascinating.
Yeah.
I loved, because it reached, I believe it reached the outer planets in like 1989. And you start getting live video feeds of Jupiter's rings. Come on, really? And that's all the way out there in the outer solar system. And this thing's going to keep heading out.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop. It's going to go to God knows where.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to I'll ask you one little planet question here,
Sure.
real fast. Pluto.
Yes.
Is it a planet?
Definitely.
Because they change it every couple of months.
They're dumb. Here's why it's a planet. If I received a meteor, the chances of us getting a meteorite from Pluto are very small because Jupiter is like a giant Hoover vacuum cleaner sucking up everything from the outer solar system. So if anything was coming in, barreling in from there, it'd get caught in Jupiter's gravity well and just enter into that planet instead of crashing here, right? But assume that we could get a meteorite from Pluto. Do you know what it would be called?
What's that?
A planetary meteorite. Why?
I'm not sure.
Because it's from a planet.
Yeah.
That's how a geologist would look at it,
Yeah.
right? Because once you reach a stone reaches a certain size, it starts getting sedimentary layers. It starts getting layering, like core layering.
Mm-hmm.
So you wind up having core differentiation. That's what it's called. It's when you start getting like your layers of iron separated to stone, separated to this, separated to that. And if you slice the planet in half, you'd have these different rings of layers.
Like
right?
a tree.
Like a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, right? Now, a planet has to reach a certain size. A body has to reach a certain size to start doing that to any large extent. Once it reaches that size, it's called a planet. Pluto would qualify. If that stone came in from Pluto, it would be called a planetary meteorite.
And then they said they found another maybe 2 planets after Pluto as well. That's possible.
There's a bunch of things floating out there. There's a disturbance in it's not like a recent. It's been there. A disturbance in the outer solar system, specifically the Oort cloud.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that there is some additional bodies out there that we don't know what they are or where they're from, but it's distorting the orbits of a lot of bodies out there. So their assumption is there's at least 1, 2 bodies out there, and they could be Earth size or larger.
Oh wow!
No, it's not tiny. There's 2 planets, 1 or 2 planets that we don't know. They're in our solar system.
Yeah,
but we don't know where they are, and they're far.
Yeah, wasn't another theory too that Pluto may be a moon to a bigger planet?
No. Pluto has its own. Well, it's possible. I mean, in the distant past, you're saying it is captured. Possible, but Pluto has its own moon, Charon.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Pluto has its own moon, Charon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, what do you say to people that say like the flat earther people?
My condolences. I'm sorry. I mean, here's my problem with these I don't want to call them bozos.
They're bozos.
They're bozos, right? They come into my store occasionally, preaching me, right?
Really?
Oh, consistently. And they're telling me that
But you don't have space rocks that.
Yeah. All my space rocks came from only 20 feet above me, or so. Like I don't know what their logic, or flew past the ice wall they pretend exists, or who knows what these people think. They
don't even know.
They don't even know. Their story changes every 5 minutes. Why? Because it's fake. You know what? Maybe a best way. All the other planets are round. Then how come ours is flat?
Yeah.
Everything else out there is round except for us, because we're on planet Earth spaceship.
Or the what do they call it? The Truman effect.
Yeah,
it's like a good workout. Like you could literally work out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now you were saying before about how planets get from one size to another, and you kind of did a demonstration here. We're using this, a smaller piece, and then as they go up.
Sure. Here's what you have over here. I have a couple samples in the store to play around with. This one has to be a little bit separate for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what you have over here is. I wanted to show an example. The camera can see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, okay. What you have over here is this would be like the core of an asteroid.
Now, where did this come from?
These stones between here and here, these three likely originate between Mars and Jupiter in an asteroid belt. This is a Martin Material. This stone's from the planet Mars. This is a different type of meteorite. And this is a tektite. This stone came from Earth, but it got slammed by an asteroid, turned into glass, thrown all the way to open space, and came back down as a space rock. It's probably the most violent stones you've ever seen. So this is between Mars and Jupiter, landed in Argentina. This is between Mars and Jupiter again. This landed in Northwest Africa. This as well. These have different densities of iron. This is more iron, less iron, and this has very little iron, the Martian rock, and this is an Earth rock, has very little iron in there too. And there you have the order. Like this, if this was a planetary body, it would look something like, well, that. The more higher you go up, the less iron you see.
That's like your circle. So you're just
yeah. Except now, remember, this is thousands of miles up. This is not it's not the scale, but it definitely would be the pattern.
And this came from space.
From space, yeah. It hit Argentina really fast.
Yeah, and you said this.
Blast
and
radius
this is about
like
40 pounds. Of pure iron. Right?
Yeah, 95% iron, 5% nickel.
I'm going to tell you right now, it is heavy. Like if you can muster and throw that, you would do damage. Now,
it is, I would say it's equivalent to an I-beam of that size.
Yeah. It's insane. Now this hit and took out how big of a radius?
Like a block and a half.
A city block or a school county block?
Not a city block, but it came in. You know, it's a big stone. You don't want a stone like that coming down on top. Dropped it. Imagine if some guy was on the space station, and he decided just to let this go and drop it in on you. It would be bad. You don't want. Now this thing, when it reached the elevation of the space station, it was already going 17,000 miles an hour. So when this thing hits, it hits. Now the atmosphere slows it down. But
now, how much of the rock actually broke apart from the atmosphere?
Probably a large. I would say, since this is the core of an asteroid, an iron stone like this, these are always the cores.
Yeah.
The stone itself probably was maybe the size of this table.
It's like like 8 foot.
Yeah, something. Because remember, this would be the middle of it, so you'd have to have your, it might be a big stone like this coming in.
Yeah.
Hits the atmosphere. Now it could have. Remember, this stone could have shattered before it hit. I'm just giving an idea. Maybe the reason it's here is because it got slammed somewhere outside, and some of the debris is what's came into us.
Yeah.
Or it could have came in intact until it interfaced with Earth's atmosphere. The external stone gets really hot and explodes. When they explode, that's where you get these devastating nuclear-sized, air bursts that occur regularly over this planet, which we have no defense for. And the iron parts and a lot of the stone fragments, when they explode, they eventually make it down to it at very high speed. Yeah, and that's what you get.
Has there any been that TV show like the Weird Deaths or whatever? Remember that show? Is there any recorded incident where someone got hit by a meteor or a piece of rock?
Yeah. In Chelyabinsk in 2013, an asteroid detonated over Chelyabinsk, Russia. It injured 1,500 people, primarily from shattered glass and the airburst that occurred. Here's some video of it. That's only from sound alone.
Wow.
Watch this one. He called it Sputnik. That's how all my stones come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Now, I completely lost my train of thought there. Now, you do have some other stuff. Like I said, this is a giant rock. You have stuff from Mars.
Oh, yeah.
This is from Mars.
Yeah, I make jewelry out of different planetary bodies. That's primarily what I do, actually. This right here is a Martian Material.
They can't hear you. You have to wait till you come back.
Oh, it's a Martian rock.
Yeah,
Martian Material. I put them on settings, so you can be walking around with a fragment of a different planet. Or this is part of Apollo 11. This flew up with Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. If they could see it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's really bright. The light's right there.
Yeah.
But these are all on the Facebook page, and you can always come in and see them too.
Yeah.
And then this is a wedding engagement ring.
It's a lunar engagement ring. What I did is I took a fragment of the moon and I put it on a ring setting.
So you can say to your girl, "I love you to the moon and back." You can get real cheesy.
See, my thought is that my thought is that how do I say it? If you give her the moon and she says no, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
What was the joke that Family Guy used where it says a diamond she pretty much has to?
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
It looked like she was going down on him.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it rolls, or whatever. That's ridiculous. Funny though.
So not only do you do the stones and make jewelry, we're in the arcade section of your.
Yeah. There's in the store itself. There's multiple aspects to it. Jewelry's the primary thing to do, but that's not the only thing that's in here. There's a 1980s arcade. I replicated it to the best of my ability from what I remember playing in an arcade in the 1980s. Mm-hmm. I have a machine. I have multiple pinball machines, like Super Mario Brothers 1992 fully restored pinball machine. A Bally's Transporter 1989 machine with traditional pullback. I have it's a Super Sport machine. I call it that. Its name has 60 of all the original games from the 1980s. You have Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Galaxian, Centipede, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's fun. Mm-hmm. It's like the first Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
it's outstanding. All the original games, and in the back there's.
And then you have the Gravity Hill.
Yeah, Gravity Hill, and those
little claw machine.
Yeah, the claw machine, stuff like that. But it's primary. If you notice, there's no tickets. These are quarters.
Yep.
You take a quarter, it clinks on the bottom, just like it did in 1983.
Yep. And he only charges a quarter to play.
Only quarter game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep the prices just like it was in the 80s. I just thought it's a playable museum.
Yeah. Me and my buddy Steve the one time went to the wheel, and we had a couple beers, and then we went back to his house and got a bag of quarters, and we came baake and played pinball here for like 4 hours.
Yes, and it's worth it.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And then you have some really cool merchandise like T-shirts. You got some space themed shirts.
Yeah,
there's a really cool one. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's like flowers and stuff. It looks like American traditional like Sailor Jerry style shirt. And it says Han shot first. So there's some cool stuff like that.
Yes, we have there's a line of T-shirts that are coming out through a company that I'm working with. Mm-hmm. They're using the trademark, the Martian Materials trademark, and they published a lot of them on the site already. You can actually go to visit the website and you can see some of the T-shirt line that has my logo on it. The T-shirts are just as crazy funny as the jewelry.
Nice.
Yeah, it's that level of fun, you know.
Oh, here's your magnet.
Oh, thank you! You found it.
Yeah, I just felt it on my hand there.
I got another order came over the line.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So, and then in the back here, you have an art gallery.
Yes. Now, this is all local artists. Mm-hmm. These are people that live in Schuylkill County only. That's basically the rule. I have there's 2 rules. The first one is the artwork has to be appropriate for children. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want something crazy in there. It should be if I bring a middle school kid in here, it should go in there and not have a problem. You know what I mean? The next one is that
so no like nudity.
Yeah, nudity or extreme violence. You know, something that you don't want a little middle schooler to say. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason. It's because school kids do come in here. Yeah. So I have to make sure that it's age appropriate. Yep. You know, I always tell the artist it has to stay at least PG. Yeah. It can't go PG-13. It can't go R. It has to be PG for the artwork. Yep. I never had a problem that way. Yeah. Another one is that they're Schuylkill County residents. And there's 20 artists back there. Nice. Yeah, they're all Schuylkill County residents. These people have come in here and put their artwork in, and it's for sale. Nice. You can buy incredible stuff that's made locally. It's not like you go to the store and go like a Walmart and go buy some pre-made whatever. These are actually painted by your neighbors. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely come in and check that out. There's tons of really cool art. Like I said, it's just a lot of fun to come in here. You have a lot of cool. You can learn a lot about about rocks and space rocks and all about the different planets. Yeah. Really cool T-shirts and everything you can learn here, man. He's very knowledgeable and he's very passionate what he does. You can learn a lot of fun things. And now you're working on a 3D printing. Yes. In the back. The way this works right now is there's going to be 3 companies back there. They're currently building some of the product for it. What will happen is you can walk in here and say, I would like a statue of myself, because we can take a 3D image of you. 3D print me riding a unicorn sailing over the real moon, and I'll have it ready for you in an hour. Mm-hmm. And your jewelry is only limited by your imagination now. Nice. Anything you want, I can have printed for you. You can even just dream it and tell me this is what you want, and I can have it printed with access. See, the difference between this jewelry store and others is I have access to material from other planets. No other jewelry store has access to that level of material.
Yeah.
So I don't have to abide by an established rules that De Beers set up years ago for people.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to make it what people want, not what society imposed on you. So in this case right here, people are coming up to me and say, you know, I really, this dog's special for me. Can you make a pendant of a dog, and you know, and I love the moon, have them sitting next to the moon, and I'll print it out in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, what are some of your other local things in town that you're a big fan of that you enjoy to do?
Things I like doing in town here. I like, believe it or not, the JFK Trail.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where that is?
I do not.
It's the bike path. I have an asteroid embedded in the concrete over there.
Nice.
Yeah, because I like it that much.
Mm-hmm.
I put money into it. You know, it's a covered path. It's a bike trail. It is absolutely gorgeous in the summer. It's so covered due to the tree cover, so you're not getting overheated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's quiet, and there's a stream on the left-hand side when you're walking.
Where does it start?
It starts by, do you know where Sheets is? Like 901 Gordon Ogle?
Mm-hmm.
It's in that area. Close to the bowling alley.
Down, okay.
Yeah, that area. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure where it is. My dad's a big bike rider. I was wondering if he actually
knows
about it.
You can actually access it, too, from the JFK pool.
Okay.
If you go to the pool, the other entrance is over there. I never use that. I always park on this side over here, but you can park it on that side and just walk it.
Okay.
The only negative to it, I think, is too short. It feels like I wish it was a little bit longer.
Like a mile and a half?
I mean, it's a small trail.
Yeah.
You know, but it's beautiful. That's the thing. It's scenic.
Cool. So what are some of the things you have in store for the future for this store?
Oh, on July 20th, I said the big party. I also have I love playing with magnets.
Yeah.
Another thing that I have for the store itself is I want to continue to grow the space jewelry part as well as everything else, but primarily the space jewelry, just because I think that it makes people look up, and because it's an exotic piece of jewelry, people are it's a conversation piece.
Mm-hmm.
If you're walking around with part of Apollo 11 around your neck, it's definitely a conversation starter. It should be.
Yeah.
You know, like, where'd you get this?
That actually, I met a girl. I believe it was at Culture to Culture in Pottsville here.
Yeah.
And I said, "What are you wearing?" She goes, "Oh, I got this made at Martian Materials, and this is from a destroyed planet."
Yes, that's the IwEP.
Yeah.
The IwEPites are destroyed planets.
Yep. So she had a whole story to it, and then she learned from you what that is, and now every time she goes, she's educating somebody else.
Yes, and not only that, I even put a fragment of a destroyed planet in front of the Sovereign Majestic.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you go out there,
I did see that one.
Yeah, and there's a real history on like what these are and why most scientists believe that thing is a destroyed planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's because these things come from the core of a planet that no longer exists.
Mm-hmm. And sorry,
go ahead.
And you do have your own show on
WBRE.
Yep, on PA Live as well.
On PA Live. Yeah, WBRE. I have on the 25th, I believe, I'll be up in Wilkes-Barre to film. We discussed space topics. This month, it looks like we're going to talk about a gigantic asteroid, roughly the size of the big island of Hawaii, that was found about 1 kilometer underneath the polar cap of the moon. And it's kind of weird to find a gigantic stone like that there. I mean, where did that come from? You know, I mean, and you know where it came from, but seriously, a giant stone the size of a state sitting on. How did that get? Like, well, how big was that explosion? You know? Like, I'm happy we weren't even on this planet. I bet you half the moon rocks we got were from some hit from that.
That could be very, very true. Yeah. Now you were showing how like the name of this one again?
Oh, that's a tektite.
Tektite. So this is the planet. Or it comes in, it hits, and then it launches everything off.
These right here, and then some of these come back, and if it got escape velocity, some of these make it to a different planet, like Earth.
Yeah.
Or wherever it came.
And that's pretty much how the rocks you've collected have traveled. It's impact from another planet, leaves its orbit.
Asteroid. Like an asteroid slamming into. Okay, picture this. You know, like the one that killed the dinosaurs, right? Mm-hmm. I bet you there's some Earth rocks out throughout the solar system when that happened.
Yeah.
I bet you if you're on the moon, I bet you'll find an Earth meteorite.
Yeah.
A terrestrial meteorite, like one from Earth that is on the moon because it got slammed when the impact that killed the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Now, we're gonna talk about another fun thing. I'm just curious on your take on it.
Yeah.
Life, aliens.
Alien life exists. I'm fairly certain of it. There's a lot of now. Here's my take on it. I'm a strong believer in past promote. What that is it's the theory that our hypothesis that life can survive like extremophiles, like water bears. Certain types of life can survive an asteroid impact and ride those Martian rocks from Mars to Earth, land in the ocean, and say, "Oh, I found water again," and keep growing. Mm-hmm. And that is what I believe occurred. I believe Mars had microbacterial life at some point. I'm not saying UFOs. Yeah. I'm not saying spaceships. I'm not saying civilization. I'm talking algae.
Do you think there's anything like that out there?
Yes. Well, here's why. If the next door planet next door, the one literally next door, had life as well, oh my God, there's a lot of stars. A lot of stars. Mm-hmm. And if life is spreading like a virus throughout the whole galaxy, there's advanced stuff out there somewhere. Mm-hmm. Maybe one out of every 500 million stars. Do you see what I mean? But it's out there. Yeah. It's got to be.
Do you think we've ever had contact or anything like that?
I don't know. See, here's my thing with that. I believe, I'm not saying I believe in the whole ancient alien hypothesis,
There's some weird stuff that's out there.
But there is weird stuff out there.
Like stuff you're like,
Yeah, there's stuff out there. There's the pyramids, I think, are creepy.
They are.
Yeah, because they look like a power plant.
Yeah.
I think they're the power. Really? Put it this way. This is just something, if you want to divert from our topic to something that's fascinating, in my opinion. Here's why I think we think the pyramid. I'm going to give you a very simple why I strongly believe they're pyramids. I want you to look at the size of a nuclear power plant, or like the one in Limerick. You know what I'm talking about, right? Or 3 Mile Island. Do you notice they're really big structures, gigantic structures, pyramid-sized structures? Correct. Yep. The only time humanity ever invests money and time and effort into something like that is to get something back from it. So the only way that would make sense to me to get something that would turn out into a power plant like what we do today.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing is that's a gigantic structure. You have to have a return on investment.
Yeah.
And it's not just economics like in currency. I'm talking people are going to be dying building this thing. It's a gigantic monument, know. There better be a return on investment. They're not just going to build it to waste extra resources, because the Egyptians, though, based upon from what we are taught about the Egyptians, they didn't have much excess resources. A lot of these people were farming, and there was not a ton of excess to go waste it on building on huge stone monuments, aligned perfectly north, south, east, west, with weird chambers and copper wiring inside and hieroglyphs that didn't denote how to power light bulbs.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely some strange stuff in there.
Strange stuff in there.
And even the Sphinx, how it's not, the head that's on the Sphinx isn't even the original head.
It's too small.
Yeah, it's way too small.
There's all sorts of weird stuff going on there. I mean, I think the Egyptians found it and remodeled it.
Yeah.
I think they found it, though. I want to know who really built it.
Yeah.
I think they're older than that, because there's signs of flooding in there.
Yep.
There was no flooding between the Egyptian Empire collapsing and now. So since there was no flooding at the time, where did that erosion come from?
Yep.
That was, what's his name? Shock.
Yep.
From, I think, he came up with that, and you can't, it's hard to say, because the lines are saying you're looking at water erosion. Yeah, you have to explain why what you're seeing doesn't count.
Well, didn't the Egyptian government kick him out?
Yeah, they kick everybody out that starts exploring into that thing.
Yeah,
because they don't. I don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why, because there's probably weird stuff in there they don't want you to see.
Yeah, they either don't want you to see or they don't want you to find.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's even older than people, like how you were saying, that's even older than people can think.
Yeah, because that thing's ancient, and I don't know who built it.
Yeah, the body is
I'm not saying aliens built it. I'm just saying that I don't know who built it.
Yeah, you have no idea where it came from.
Yeah. I think there might have been a civilization on Earth that was far more advanced than we give credit for.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
there's definitely some weird stuff.
Yeah, because remember, you have the ruins down in I think it was Guatemala or Honduras. There was ruins where they thought the city only had 50,000 people, and then they took a scan from an airplane that removed all the vegetation, the type of technology they used, and you find out it's 5 million people. So now, if you had 50,000 people you thought you had, in reality the city was 5 million. That requires more farming, more infrastructure, more transit, more technology. Stuff that you didn't think had to exist now must have existed, which you never accounted for in the first place. So there's some weird stuff in humans past.
Yeah.
Something probably regularly we get hit with a space rock and reset.
Yeah.
It's probable.
Now, we'll get into another touchy subject that's going on now.
Sure.
Climate change.
That's happening. It's
Yes.
real, and we need to do something to stop that, or better mitigate against it.
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, water did not normally flood in the front of my store and out the back of the dojo.
Yeah.
And that's happening regularly now.
Yeah.
And it's more than a local drainage issue because other cities are experiencing this type of flooding. You're getting tremendous amounts of downpour that are happening. It's not the amount of rain, it's how it's coming in. Assume you get 1 inch of rain over the course of a day. Not a big deal. If you get 1 inch of rain in the course of 5 minutes, that's a problem. Do you see if it just comes down in one big bucket on top of you? And that's how these storms are happening. What happens is global warming magnifies the intensity of the storms. That's the reason why we're getting these freezing cold snaps in the wintertime. Never got cold like that before.
And winter's getting a lot longer and shorter, and summers are getting a lot shorter.
Yeah, and extremes too. Normally, this is an odd day. It's actually nice out. Normally we have torrential rain by now, or we have a heat wave that's unbearable. This has not been normal weather. People think it's normal because they're now getting used to extremes. Oh, and whenever there's a storm, everybody batten down the hatches. Never in my life did we have to do that. I never had to sandbag the front of my house growing up because a storm's coming in. And now you do.
Yeah. Yeah, you get flooded pretty well here.
Yeah, we get flooded pretty well here, but it's not just here. I know that a lot of areas are getting flooded. Frackville turns into
just right by the Rite Aid.
Yeah,
it turns into a river.
It turns into Venice without the gondolas.
Yeah,
So
it's really funny. The one day I left work and I was like, I'm gonna head out because we're supposed to be getting really bad weather, and I just don't want to get caught in it. And I remember I turn when I get into Frackville, I turn right there and I take the back way so I don't have to hit all the lights. I hit that. And as I'm driving, I went through a puddle, which was like an inch of water.
Yeah.
As I'm traveling that just small road from from my turn to the end of the car wash.
Yeah.
The water raised like that.
I believe it.
And I gunned it because I was no way I would have gotten stuck.
Oh yeah.
And I gunned it, and by the time I turned the corner, behind me was a truck was going through, and what was this much water when I went through was now up to a full-size jacked-up truck.
Now, my question is, when you were younger, growing up, do you remember storms like that?
No. The only bad winter I ever remember having was, I think it was like 94 when they had like the big state of emergency.
But now my question is, you're seeing this year after year, right after each other. It's not stopping anymore, right? So my question is, now I'm going to explain it in very simple terms, hoping that people actually understand that climate change is real. All right, now the size of this planet, it's rather big. Would you agree, compared to us, right? It's a big planet, right? So now, in order to generate enough energy to create a storm. Now, think of what storms do. They pick up houses, throw them all over the place, lightning. All this requires energy, right? The heat input is what is changing. We're increasing the amount of heat, which is magnifying the storms. See, picture this way. You have more water evaporating from the ocean. More ice is melting, right? And you have...
our greenhouse gases.
Greenhouse gases are causing issues, right? So now you have more and more of these greenhouse gases occurring, melting water. This water then evaporates. This evaporated water vapor has to come down. It cannot stay in vapor forever. It wants to come down. Now, since we're evaporating more water, that means more water is coming down. Now, it gets creepier and scarier. Now, you have an ice cap. You put a glacier. You put 2 kilometers of ice on top of a rock, on top of the continental shelf. Do you believe that much weight of ice on top of a rock would shift it down? It's a lot of weight, right? 2 kilometers of ice is going to shift down a continental shelf. Now, I want you to remove that ice, and the weight suddenly disappears. It melts off. What's going to happen to that rock that's underneath it? It's going to bob back up, right?
Yep.
What, magnitude 7 or 8 earthquakes?
Yeah.
Climate change will cause earthquakes eventually.
Yeah.
And it is. It has to be. You're seeing it happen. Whenever these massive glaciers start falling into, you're relieving weight off the. This is not good. You're causing It sounds ridiculous, but the coal company down the street is indirectly causing the water to flow inside my store, and in some cases it's going to lead to lawsuits where you're going to have regular companies suing fossil fuel companies for causing the problem in the first place.
Controlled demolitions and
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
all sorts of stuff. You're going to have that eventually. There's no, I don't know how else to say that's not going to happen, because just because water flooding my store doesn't mean that some guy's factory that's $40 million is getting flooded from the river.
Yeah.
He's going to sue.
Yep.
Do you see what I mean?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. We had some excitement out here today.
Yes, we did. I got
guy run through.
Guy running through got attacked by the cops.
Yeah, so some guy, I guess, had warrants. And I was set up for the podcast, and he was outside talking, and he's seen more than I did, but I guess a guy had warrants. And the cops seen him, and he ran back. What was that, Beer and Burger?
Yeah, the Beer Burger through the wheel.
Then he went through the kitchen of the wheel, and the cop chased him through the wheel during business hours and tackled him on the floor.
A big time tackle.
Like he said, like a Ray Lewis linebacker tackle.
It was this one deserved. This one deserved to be on a. And by the way, the force use was completely justified. This guy was running through the
wheel.
restaurant. Yeah. This just somebody had to stop him.
Yes.
You know. And this cop came in here and tackled him. It was this linebacker level, outstanding. You know what I mean? It was just an outstanding tackle. And the second the guy was on the floor, they cuffed him, and it was done professionally.
Nobody got hurt. I mean, maybe he did by tackle, but
I think the cop hurt himself too doing it, because it was seriously, this dude's running out of the wheel at high speed, running through the kitchen. Wow. Yeah,
that's crazy stuff. Now you said you also do a podcast with a buddy. You do an astrology podcast.
Oh yeah. We that is another one that's be coming up soon. I'm going to send out the link when I get it. I don't have it on top of my head.
You don't need to know the name of it or anything yet?
I have some of it. I just want to get it all properly set up.
Yeah, we'll definitely put that in the link in the description as well. So, is there anything you want to plug, or anything you want to, before we wrap up here?
No, not really. I do think that I believe that people should come down here, not just to the Meteorite store, but I believe they should come down to the wheel, have something to eat, even though. Hopefully, there's nobody running through the kitchen.
Nobody. That was a rarity.
That was a very rarity, right? And then I would like them to come down here and have some have a pizza over at Roma, or eat or have some coffee over at the new coffee shop Pressed.
Oh, so nice.
Great. They make those crepes that have the chocolate and banana. Like
really,
they're outstanding.
I haven't eaten there yet.
You need to eat.
I just kind of go in and I see some of the musicians playing, and then I don't stay very long. But it's beautiful, dude. Downtown Pottsville is just turning it around.
Yeah. We're trying our best to make the town look a lot better. I mean, I believe the store is fairly innovative.
Yeah.
You know, and it's creating an industry that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Currently, no one makes space jewelry. At least nobody that I know of. You know?
There's so much cool stuff to do in downtown. It's to the point now where you can just walk around downtown Pottsville and find a cool thrift shop, or kind of find a cool store, or a coffee shop, or a restaurant. There's a lot to do here.
Yeah, and we're getting there. And I think that the more effort we put into it as a town, as a community, the better it will be for all of us.
Yeah.
See, I believe that every single person that buys jewelry from me has to eat too. So they'll probably go to the wheel. You know, people eating at the wheel or eating at Roma or whatever, they have stuff around their necklace, but please stop buying it from outside. This is made here internally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these are all made in Pottsville. Especially when the 3D printed ones are done.
Yeah, it just really comes down to taking pride in your community and helping each other. Like, you can go and drop. Like, here's an example. We're throwing a concert on August 24th.
Okay.
It's going to be in Aries Sporting Club. It's like at the cusp. It's like right at the edge of Schuylkill County, beginning of Luzerne County.
Yeah.
And we have 6 local bands from the area. We have 2 other bands that we're going to announce. We're actually announcing one of the bands tomorrow, which I'm really, really excited for. But it's a $25 ticket. But it's a little bit of a drive. Now people go, $25 ticket. You're getting 6 bands. You're getting 6 bands.
That sounds like more like a party.
Yeah, it's a giant outdoor. It's a giant outdoor festival. We're calling it Skookstock.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's support your local stuff, man. There's a lot of cool stuff here. It's like, and it's only getting better, and it's going to keep getting better if people can keep putting the
effort,
the support, and the effort towards it.
And time.
Yeah.
Another thing that you have though is Pottsville has had an image that needs to go away, like of being a scary place.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
It's not. I have all my jewelry sitting outside every day. No one steals anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that occasionally someone will, probably can.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem to be anything close to the norm, or
No.
not what the reputations dictate.
I've walked through Pottsville at 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I've never ever had an issue.
I never had an issue either.
Yeah. It really. I mean, yes, you'll have 1 or 2 scenarios where something will happen, but that's not the majority.
I think that happens in every city.
Absolutely.
And just because the city's smaller doesn't mean that you don't get instead of, like, if you had a big city, bigger, let's say Reading, you'll have 10 idiots out on the street at night. Over in Pottsville, we'll have 1.
Yeah. and I think a lot of the people who come from outside that move to the area, I know a lot of the problem was a lot of people said, you don't have pride in your community because you didn't grow up here.
Yeah.
I think that image is changing a lot too. I think a lot of outside people say, you know what? It's not like it's one in the city. I didn't come here to be in this area.
I'm not from here, and look how much time and effort I'm putting into the town.
Yeah, it's developing that sense of community and pride in it. But I want to thank you so much for sitting down and having this conversation. It was a blast.
Thank you.
And definitely come in and check out the store. And like I said, I'll have links in the description. Check him out on PA Live. He has a show every month where he talks about stuff, and then he has a podcast with his buddy coming
I'll
up.
be on PA Live on the 25th. And you'll be able to watch probably around like 5 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you, buddy. I appreciate it.
And we'll wrap up here. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Interviews with Everyday People. We'll see you guys soon.
We're done. That was good.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I thought it was fun. It was a good conversation. You talked about aliens and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
We got a little bit of everything in there.